Hey there, it's Erica, and welcome to day one of Fitness Blender's free 2-week challenge. We're kicking it off by doing lower body strength with some HIIT cardio, an all-standing workout following a Tabata format. For equipment, you'll want to grab one set of medium to heavy dumbbells, something that you feel comfortable using for lower body strength exercises. Your warm-up and cool-down are included, along with low-impact modifications. The warm-up is actually built into the first part of the workout, so let's go ahead and get at it. So this entire workout is in Tabata format, 20 seconds active, 10 seconds rest. Our first 9 exercises will be the warm-up. We won't be using any weight, but you will want your dumbbells right beside you because we'll flow right into the first part of the workout. Okay, our first exercise, we're going to be doing an alternating toe touch. So you're going to be lifting one leg off the floor, reaching towards that toe. It's okay if you're reaching more towards that knee. Kind of using the arms, runner's arms, and taking this slow, slowly trying to warm up the back of the leg. I'm engaging my core to help bring my leg up instead of solely relying on my hip flexors. All right, squat and forward fold is next. You can jog in place while I'm demonstrating, or you can head right into the exercise. So a squat, and then a forward fold. So you're reaching towards those toes again. Squat, weight in the heels, and reach towards those toes. Squeeze the glutes. Release through the back of the leg as you stretch down. Okay, next up, we're going to be doing a reverse point behind you, so flexing that glute, and then we're going to drive the knee forward. So up to you if you want to have hands on hips or right in front, but you're pointing behind, flexing that glute, keeping the toe pointed as you lift the knee. So we're doing 3 things here. We're evoking our balance, we're warming up our glute, and we are also engaging our core and warming up the hips as well. We're going to head on to the other side next. Alrighty, so again, jogging in place or continuing with the exercise, reverse point and knee drive. Pointing that toe behind, driving the knee up. We'll head into some wide squats next. Alrighty, so we've got our feet pointed out a little bit. We're sinking into a nice wide squat, knees are wide. So you're sending that tailbone down, squeezing your glutes and your inner thighs all the way through the stand. Feeling yourself able to go just a tad deeper every time you squat. All right, kettlebell swings, you can just use your fist as the kettlebell. So we are hinging at the hips. This is a hip hinge motion. We're flexing those glutes, powering through with the hips to naturally bring that weight or those hands up. We're just preparing ourselves for exercises we're going to see here later on in the workout. So use those hips, that controlled thrust forward. All right, reverse lunge, reverse leg lift. So you can stay on one side, reverse lunge, and then right into that leg lift. So straight through the knee, straight leg, nice and tall through your midsection as well. So we're not crunching that low back. Taking one bit of this movement at a time. All right, and on to the other side. Now, as a modifier, you'll especially want this when you have weights in hand, but instead of immediately going into the kick, you could pause here, then do the reverse leg lift, and then come back through. So we can keep that in mind, whether you want to start using it now, or you want to use it when we're into the workout with the weights. We have one more warm-up exercise coming up. All right, we have some shallow skaters. So you can take it nice and shallow, tiny little leap. You could even step it out. And you have the option to float that leg behind, or you can set it down. All right, use those arms, nice and shallow. So 10 seconds, we're done with this. We have a 10-second rest. We're into the weights. So I want you to grab those weights in about 5 seconds. So we're gonna grab those weights and we're into a narrow squat. So you're gonna have your feet a little bit more narrow than a traditional squat. Weights hang by your side, weight is in the heels. Sitting back in that imaginary chair, pushing up through those heels, squeezing the glutes. Notice my chest stays open as well. So we're into our strength and our cardio. And we're actually gonna be repeating each exercise 3 times before moving on. So you can drop those weights down in between or set them down. You can jog in place if you'd like, or you can just enjoy the very short 10-second rest, and we start again. So this is our second round of our narrow squats. Now when we're doing the strength exercises, I want you focused on slow and controlled. We're gonna be kind of bopping back and forth between the two. So we wanna be mindful of what sort of an exercise we're doing. All right, shake out those hands. We have one more of the weighted narrow squat. So as you're going through these strength training motions, we need to visualize what muscles are most activated. The glutes, the quads, the hamstrings in this one, the core. We'll set the weights aside for our next one. This will be more of a cardio exercise. Alrighty, weights to the side. We're gonna do a narrow squat just like we saw, and then a narrow squat jump. Or instead of the jump, you could come to a calf raise. So narrow squat jump, modifier, squat, and a calf raise. So squat and a calf raise. You can explode to those toes. Otherwise, we're getting that jump in there all the way through the toes. All right, so we've got that 10-second rest. Be sure to land soft if you are jumping. We don't want to sound like elephants. Narrow squat and the jump, landing with a bent knee so you can slowly and easily come into that next squat. Power through. We're kicking up our heart rate. Alrighty, and we have one more of those left. You can see how quickly this routine is gonna go by. All right, narrow squat and a jump, or you're coming to those toes. Make sure the weight is staying in your heels, except if you're jumping. Alrighty, this time we have the reverse lunge, reverse leg lift we just saw in the warm-up. So I'm gonna bring those weights to either side, let them hang. Okay, picking one side, reverse lunge. You can go right into the leg lift and back down, or you can stop in between, lift the leg and back through. So this one we are not trying to make it cardio intensive. We are slowing this one down. Now it might not feel like that. You probably already see me huffing and puffing up here. That's gonna be a natural compound effect here. But this is a strength exercise. So we're pushing through that heel, straightening the back leg, flexing the glute to lift. Slow it down. This is our second of 3 rounds for this side. Okay, one more on this side. We'll trade. Controlled lunge, controlled lift, keeping that chest and shoulders open. All right, and we're on to the other side. Now, if the weights at any point in time are becoming too much, you could get rid of them. You could also lighten them. So use those 10-second rests to really evaluate how things are going. Lunge and lift. So now we're into the other side for the first time. Okay. It just helps, even if we're setting down the weight for what feels like 2 seconds, it helps us get that physical and mental reset. Okay, reverse lunge. Lift through the base of the glute. Stay nice and tall through the midsection. Weight is predominantly in that front foot, in that front heel, to be specific. And one more on this side. Then we have 2 exercises to go. We have a water break. So make sure you're stepping far enough back so that knee is not going over your front toes. And be thinking about your breath. I know there's a lot to be thinking about, so try not to get overwhelmed here. One bit at a time. Alrighty. And next up, we are into wide squat and pulse. I'm gonna put one dumbbell down. I'm gonna let this one hang. So you're gonna do a wide squat, toes are out. We're gonna pulse at the bottom and come back to stand, squeezing the glutes and inner thighs. You have the option to take out that pulse. So you could simply come down to the bottom and right back up. Okay, 2 more of those. In and out. Get a couple good breaths in during those rests. Weights are hanging, or weight I should say, if you're using one. We want to make sure those shoulders are not caving forward. Tiny little pulse at the bottom, controlled up and down. Okay, one more of those. We are almost halfway through our Tabata for strength and cardio. Shoulders roll down and back, toes are out, knees come out. Little pulse. Or you're taking out the pulse and you're just doing the squat. Okay, this time kettlebell swing. We get to actually have a dumbbell in our hand for this one. So we have our legs wide so we can bring that weight through the hips. Remember, this is all about the hips. Hinging and then popping forward. That little squeeze of the glutes, or major squeeze of the glutes, I should say, is what allows that weight to come up. So your arms should not be doing a whole lot here. We also do not want to be rounding the back or the shoulders when we're coming through the legs. So this whole time, your back is engaged. Swing through, pop up. Keeping that cardio effect high. This one is very much so a blend of strength and cardio. Putting the pedal to the metal before our water break. We have one more 20-second interval on the kettlebell swing. Core is nice and tight, nice and stable for you. Alrighty, and that is it. Let's put that weight away for a second. We'll take a water break, and I'll see you back here for our second half. We have 6 more exercises to go. Again, utilizing our medium to heavy dumbbells, mix of strength and cardio. Let's go ahead and begin. We are starting with some curtsy lunges on one side. So those weights can hang at your side. You're stepping diagonally back and behind. So you're going to cross your body, staying on one side. Your hips relatively stay forward. There's going to be a natural opening, but you are trying to keep everything square in front of you. Your shoulders, your hips. Alrighty, we have 2 more on that same side you just started with. So we're just crossing behind our body ever so slightly. If you're relatively new to this exercise or if it's been a while, I don't want you to think about making a super dramatic step. Just crossing behind ever so slightly, squeezing both of your glutes to support you in this. Alrighty, and we have 1 more on that side. I'll show you from a different angle here. Pushing through that front heel, feeling that go all the way up to the glute. Alrighty, and we are into the other side on that one. I'm gonna shake out my hands. We have 3 sets of 20 on this other side here. All right, so back, diagonally behind. Keeping your chest open. You might notice I'm never looking down at my foot. That makes me literally go that way if I look down. So you should be looking out several feet in front of you. All right, we have 2 more of those. Getting into some strength, but still naturally feeling that cardio effect. So the theme of this entire challenge is really a comprehensive approach to training. We've got strength, we've got cardio, we've got mobility woven in, so much to look forward to. And in this first workout, we're already getting a taste of both strength and cardio. Okay, 1 more on this side. Then we will take down the weights and we'll focus on more of a cardio movement. So you might remember our last warm-up exercise were the shallow skaters. We're gonna do actual skaters this time. So you can take that leap a little bit more dramatic, or remember you can step and you can touch that foot down. So here would be your modifier. You can still move quickly. Otherwise it's a leap and I'm floating that leg behind me. Staying low, kind of like a curtsy is how it will feel. Curtsy's got us warm up. And now we're kind of following that same type of movement pattern, but we're staying in the front leg. All right, number 2. Keep it low. You're gonna put your energy into that leap. So going nice and wide. Use your arms. Remember, you can tap that back toe down and you can step instead of leaping. Take your deep breaths here. Feeling that cardio spike. Gauging your pace for this last skater interval. Picking up your pace. If you'd like to really skyrocket that heart rate, make it a little harder. We're back to the weights next. We have a single leg deadlift. So weights in hand, we're going to be doing that deadlift. You could also kickstand your leg. So pick a side to start on. Fully evolved version, slight bend in the standing leg. You're hinging at the hips. Assisted version, Still keeping the majority of the weight in that planted leg, but I have that extra support with the other leg. Alrighty, 2 more on this side. So we're hinging at the hips. We're keeping the shoulders open, keeping the back engaged, straightening through that back leg. Really working our glutes, hamstring, and balance here. So take it slow. You could also do a more shallow range of motion. You can see here, you don't need to go as deep. Okay, 1 more. Remember, those arms are just hanging and moving as you are teetering. So you don't need to focus a ton on what that upper body is doing, other than keeping the shoulders open, not caving them towards one another. 1 more interval here, then we get to try this on the other side. Alrighty, popping it right over to the other side. Remember your options. You could do more shallow range of motion, or you can kickstand that leg. The motion should feel the same no matter what version you're doing. There's just different levels of intensity and difficulty. And no matter where you're at, you are winning because you are here. You have not shut me off yet. You are meeting yourself where you're at. And that is a successful mindset pattern for all of fitness, all of exercise, especially in this new year. It's not about perfection. It's about actually having love and acceptance and understanding for ourselves, getting right back into it, giving our best, little bit at a time. Alrighty, we are on to a squat and an alternating, actually, I think we have 1 more interval. Never mind, we have 1 more on this side. Let's hope I'm counting that right. You guys, I gotta be honest with you. I was so nervous about counting for this workout because it moves so quickly and I have so much I want to share with you. So let's hope I'm on here. All right, set those weights down. We have 1 final exercise. We're going to be doing a squat and an alternating knee drive. Weights are out of the equation. Let's squat, knee drive, moving at your own pace, using those abs to get that knee higher instead of your hip flexor. So picking your own pace here. All right, 2 more to go. Squat, as you stand, so does one of those legs. Brace your abs, engage them before you even start. So weight in the heel as you drive that knee. You're feeling this standing glute fire up. Alrighty, 1 more to go, and looking at my timer, we did it right. All right, squat and knee drive. Give it what you've got. This is your final 20 before we see our cool down. Weight in the heels, driving the knee. Can you speed it up a tiny bit more? Final 5. Beautiful, let's go ahead, take another water break. I'll see you here for the cool down. Our cool down today, 9 exercises for 30 seconds each. We are continuing to stand. We're going to do a quad stretch, so staying on one side for this first 30. So I'm grabbing the top of my foot. I'm aiming that knee down towards the floor, flexing my glute. That way I can feel a stretch right here in my hip. Noticing how we feel right now. Take it in, how you feel different from when you started this workout. Hopefully you're feeling a sense of accomplishment as you've almost checked off day 1 in this free 2-week challenge. We're going to get ready to switch here. Continue focusing on your breath. Alrighty, into the other side. So flexing that glute, feeling the stretch in the hip and in the quad. So I think today was perfect. It chose its theme, right? We can't expect perfectionism out of ourselves. I can't do that of myself. We've got to meet ourselves where we're at. We're going to make it either way, right? Being hard on ourselves, trying to be perfectionistic, it catches up to us. Okay, inner thighs stretch. So we're going to take our knees and our feet nice and wide, almost like you're doing that wide squat. And once you get down to the middle, you are going to angle those shoulders to one side as you're pushing that other knee away. You should feel the stretch in this side that you're pushing away. And then you can also try that on the other side as well. Okay, standing it back up for a hamstring stretch. So you're going to take one leg straight. The other one is kind of in that kickstand. You reach forward, going as low as you're able. You're probably going to feel a lot warmer than you did before this, before we started the workout. So it should feel a little easier to maybe go a little lower into the stretch. Continue taking those deep breaths. All right, stand it on up into the other side. So kickstanding that leg. That foot can be flat or you can flex it, up to you. If you flex it, you might get a surprise. It's going to make it a little harder. All right, this time we're going to come into a hip flexor stretch. So we're going to step back with one leg and I'm going to roll the hips forward. So tilting the hips forward, you're going to feel that right in the hips. I know we felt that a little bit with the quad stretch, but this one really gets us there. So think about what would it mean for you to finish this 2-week challenge? What would be on the other side? What kind of momentum would that give you going into the rest of the beginning of the year here? This is a big step. Okay, so other side. This is really a big step, even just completing one workout. It sets that momentum forth, not only for your physical health, but your mental well-being, setting up structure and routine in other parts of your life. So you should feel very, very proud of getting to the end of day 1 with me here. All right, 2 more stretches. We're going to get into the glutes next. So you might want to navigate towards a wall or any piece of furniture to help you bounce. But we're going to make a figure 4. And then we're slowly going to sit back into the heel of our standing leg. You're going to feel that glute fire up very shortly. And then just kind of holding it here. Again, using that wall if you need it. Maybe staring at one thing on the floor to help you balance instead of staring at me. All right, let's switch legs. So we're folding it over, making a figure 4 motion, sending those hips back, holding where you're feeling that stretch in the glutes. Now your day 2 workout, you won't have to worry much about legs. You'll be into some upper body strength and core with Tasha. So you can look forward to that coming up for day 2. All right, that's all I've got for you guys. Like I said, be proud of day 1 already being done and what this means for you moving forward. Remember to mark this workout complete in your calendar. It is a fantastic place to be gauging your stats and your progress. And also, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments below and let me know how you're feeling after this day 1 workout. This is a workout complete. I'll see you later on in the challenge.